Man, you've
Don't forget
been,
traders.
yeah, you have, and by the way, thanks for everyone that came over from YouTube to check out the show. I appreciate you, love you. Thanks for the support. But you have been doing so much for the anti-vaccine movement that it, to me, because of the censorship and the hardcore censorship, not many people know of you based on my interpretation that they should. I hope that makes sense. And I think that these viral moments, whether that be with the astronaut, once that hits, the scenes, right?
Right.
And everything you've done with the mayor in Florida, it's getting more, especially with social media and all that, and different podcasts. Just not even knowing really your name technically, but they're showing your shit. It's all that matters is that to get the information out's number one, but number two is all that I want my audience to know. You've been doing this for years, and the amount of lives I feel like you saved in Florida alone is amazing. I don't know if you ever pondered that in your head. I try to do that humbly sometimes about like my films, and millions of people collectively watch this or that, and I like, man, I really hope I save someone. Like, do you have that? Do you feel that generosity in your heart, and does it glow for you? Do you ever think about it?
Yeah, I do. And I mean, I guess I don't really think about it often or try to quantify or anything, but I have early on, I have a story I've told a million times that I had a girl come up to me at an event one year and she was like, "Hey, you gave me a DVD at an event last year, same booth." And she's like, "It changed my life." And I cried. I watched it with my family. It was just about like our food being poisoned.
Yeah.
And that day was like, holy cow, like I changed her entire family from eating high fructose corn syrup and genetically modified food, maybe forever, or at least going to be conscious of it forever and pass that down and out to their friends and family. That one person, I realized the ripple effect we have on when we do this stuff, and that's what keeps me going. Straight up,
Yeah.
that is the thing that keeps me going. We even had a woman pull over one day during a outside a FEMA vaccination center, and she said, people like you standing here one day got me to stop vaccinating my daughter and harming her, and I found out what was harming her. And again, that happened just like during the pandemic. So things like that makes it all worth it. So we're having an effect. You really do.
Yeah, and it's funny you bring that up. I remember the first time I almost stopped. So I made the 9/11 documentary years ago.
Mhm.
YouTube took it down. I believe that was the first time they took anything I've ever done down.
Yeah.
And I felt like all my hard work and research just went out the window. I had a little audience. I think at the time I probably had, I don't know, 50,000, 60,000 subscribers or something.
Right.
And that little window I just had to show the world my views, my facts, my evidence, my hard work was just completely shut in my face. And that was the first time in my life where I go, I might just stop. And
Yeah.
and something led me to a Facebook page. Random. This is random, Justin. Something led me to a Facebook page that same week, and I saw that actually the Facebook page name was just Flat Earth. It was weird. I don't even remember following them or anything,
Is it
but
the
they had a
same
lot.
one that's around today?
I don't know. Maybe
The
it's very
popular
possible.
one?
It's
Yeah.
very possible, if not probable. So I go to this guy's page and I see my film. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, how does he have my film? It's banned. Like I thought it was a YouTube link, right? And no, he uploaded it on his Facebook channel, right?
Mm.
Like it's not saying it like it's his. He wasn't trying to be a dick about it, but he put it on his face and it was like a million views. And I go, and that's when I go, yeah,
They
no,
can't
I
stop it.
will never quit
They
because
can't
that,
stop us.
yeah,
That the truth is like an avalanche. I've said it before, or I'll say it again. And just as fast as they can shut us down, we can pop back up.
as long as we have the internet and electricity, right? But that's why I
Yep.
feel like it's very important for people to know that there is free energy. We need to figure out a way to manifest it ourselves and spread that word. Now I know it's risky. I know how people think with fear. You don't want to be the next water car guy. I get it.
Right.
But again,
Right.
collectively, I still feel like, we run our world. We are in control of our destiny, our world, the consciousness shift that's already happening. I think it started on 9/11 and it's been a slow, and now it's speeding up. But,
Mm-hmm.
how do you feel about this war we're in, Justin? Because with as many arms vaccinated and people that did die suddenly, and people that are dying slowly right now, and some of them don't even know it yet.
Mm-hmm.
Um, where does this lead us? Does this lead us to depopulation? Because I've seen some reports, and I think these were the producers of Died Suddenly that said that their numbers, based off of shots in arm, and even splitting them up in like these are to what's the word I'm looking for, where you can't have kids anymore.
Sterilization.
All right, yeah, it's tip of the tongue.
Yeah.
These are the ones for sterilization. These are the ones that'll die suddenly. These are the ones that are placebo. They did the math. They were trying to be fair with the math. And they said in 10 years, there's going to be like 100,000 people here based off that, or 20 years or something. I don't remember what they said verbatim. It was around 10 to 20 years. And it's like, I don't subscribe to that at all. But at the same time, I didn't do the math or what they did. So what's your thoughts initially on hearing that statement? And what do you think is going to happen?
So I've seen the film, love the movie, I think it's great. I don't necessarily subscribe to that either. I don't know enough about it, so I can't speak to it specifically with the numbers. But I do think a lot of times, a lot of people said that a certain amount of people would be dead in 2 years, and here we are. So yes, there are a lot of people that have died from it, but I think we could be looking more so at like a thinning the herd thing, like the other shots, the food, the chemtrails, the wars, pharmaceuticals. It's just like another thing they've added to the bowl of punch that is also killing us slowly. And it's taking another nice chunk, much bigger than some of the other ones. I'll give it to them. But I'm kind of the mindset of they kind of need us on the hamster wheel. They need people believing the lies, paying their taxes, watching TV, going to work.
You
So
think?
if they kill, I think, because think if they
Really?
kill off that many people, and there's only, you said 100,000. What are we? Are we all working in a FEMA camp, or do we all work in Atlanta, Georgia, in a hard city? And then, all the other 7 people, how are they making money off of them? How are they, enslaving and manipulating them for all their other agendas? I think they need a lot of people on the hamster wheel. I think they just want to thin us, just not that thin.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that. I also look at it from the perspective of they just don't want stupid people here anymore. I don't know if you ever heard of that theory or mind state, but they're
Well,
just
that would make sense for vaccinating all the, because a lot of people say, oh, this is depopulation. I'm like, well, wouldn't they want to kill off all the people that get it? And we didn't take it. Like get it, like understand what's going on in the world, and those are the people that didn't take it. So why are they trying to kill off all the people that believe in the lies? That would lead to your point that they are trying to kill off all the maybe weaker minded. And I don't, no offense to anybody that was forced to get it for their job or thought they were
no,
doing the
I
right
agree.
thing,
No, I,
but
I I hear you. They didn't
know
understand it at the moment, and I'm not trying to offend anybody. Anyways, I'm just making a general point. That's all.
no, I hear you, but it's an interesting theory. It's, but I guess the only thing I'll end on that with is it's also more likely to me that they're just trying to maybe like hook us up to a supercomputer or something, or normalize mRNA injections that can alter our DNA and genome sequence or whatever the heck they've got going on that's so far advanced. Why do they want this in us so bad? And that's part of something that's going on in Florida right now. We're trying to stop mandates, but they for somebody wants to still allow us to get mRNA shots in 2 years. They're like, oh yeah, we'll ban it, but in 2 years we need to lift that ban. What's coming in 2 years? Why do you
Yeah,
need to force mRNA in 2 years? It makes no sense.
yeah. And for me, in terms of jabs and arms, they're losing this war, and they already lost.
Me too.
They're not going to be able to get what they wanted out of it. But starting back to vaccines, what was it that sparked you to say, you know what? I know the censorship on this topic. I know the smear campaign would be against me on this topic, but I don't give a fuck. It's time to talk vaccine. It's time to talk injuries. It's time to talk that they're not held responsible for these injuries. What sparked you to go, it's time?
So I discovered the topic in 2012, 2013, like all the others. But once the marketing and the public awareness campaign was done for Monsanto and GMOs, we had done the rallying, we had done the educating, everything was labeled one way or another. People knew how to operate now. Navigate yourself. So it was like, that's over with. Monsanto even changed their name. They got bought out by Bayer and had to pay out billions in lawsuits. And I kept seeing vaccines on my horizon. And I'm like, the food is one thing, but we can only potentially prove it's making us sicker. This other stuff is killing people right out of the womb, giving these Hep B shots that are affecting babies that there's no reason to be giving them, SIDS spiking and potentially being caused by these childhood vaccines. So it was on my mind, and then Vaxxed came out, and I got to credit Vaxxed for really lighting the fire under me. When that film came out, I was like, I'm going to cover this film, the release. So I went to the theater. I interviewed people coming out of the film. I interviewed the producers. I was talking to vaccine injured moms. And that's when I said, well, let's start doing rallies like the Monsanto stuff.
Yeah.
This is 2016, started doing the rallies around 17 and 18. I got really locked and loaded with like this great sign campaign and these medical freedom people locally. And we were ready. We were educating people. Mandates are coming. All this. Looking back, we almost look like prophets because we had no idea what was on the horizon. And then the pandemic hit, and we all looked at each other and we were like, "Well, now we just turn up.
Yeah,
we already know what to do. We've been doing it, so we just hammered. We were protesting within less than 30 days of the shutdown, and it was open the state, stop the masks, stop the vaccine, stop the mandates. And we probably had rallies every month, speaking at city council meetings, confronting local officials, just all the pressure we could apply. And then I found the gold mine of taking local firefighters into the city council meetings, and they can't ignore hundreds of firefighters that say they won't take the mandate. And that's when it really, really got interesting.
Yeah, and then and you make my life easier. All these things you guys do, you and people like you that go out and do that, it makes for a great film because the ones on the fence, even with COVID bullshit, the ones on the fence, they don't just want to hear a bunch of doctors all the time, and I mean, I'm for real. They don't just want to hear a bunch of doctors talk about shit because to them it's still a business. So that doctor is going to make money by, ivermectin or whatever their angle is.
It can be boring. Science and doctors are boring.
And it can be boring. But when there's people hitting the streets, when there's people representing facts and documents and deaths, and here's an actual mother that just lost her fucking kid. So fuck you with your, no, that's bullshit. They're just conspiracy. Right. Her fucking kid just died. Fuck off. So that's why I've always tried to show the people, because we have the power. We're the best influencers for people on the fence, not necessarily anyone above us in stature at all. No.
Yeah.
No.
And before I forget, if anyone's interested in more information on that, in 2012 to 2016, you could just look it up on Google, remember? But then they changed all that. And now people message me and they're like, how do I find information on vaccines? Well, you can go to nvic.org, I believe, National Vaccine Information Center, one of the OGs. You can go to visforvaccine.com, which is Joshua Coleman's sign and banner campaign that I adopted and replicated in Florida that Sean is referencing. It makes great for getting the media's attention, the public's attention. It's just it's a really good campaign that catches. It's very eye-catching. And you can watch vaxxed.com or vaxxed at vax.com. And there's also Vaxxed 2, the movie, which just shows parents real stories of what happened to their children after that well visit. And they either never came home or were never the same again. And when you watch those hundreds of stories in that film in part 2, it's really undeniable. And people, they question that system from then on out.
Yeah, and I'm sure my audience, if you haven't checked those films out, go check them out. I saw the first one was good. I think I only saw clips of the second, I believe. And obviously I made Fluvid. My whole audience saw Fluvid. And the I made a shot in the dark, my original one, 2018, I believe. And I changed the cover photo when COVID bullshit started because I didn't want people to just assume that a shot in the dark. Sorry, Candace, I came up with that. Relax, Candace. But anyways, a shot in the dark was pre-COVID. So I changed the cover photo so it says pre-COVID. I've been on this as long as you. I have never even been vaccinated my whole life. So I feel less.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, not even as a child, brother. So I feel like, I have a voice in that movement.
Yeah.
I never had them for the same reasons that we're talking about now. My mother, my late mother, she was the Vax documentary growing up, dude. That's all.
Yeah.
She just Vax documentary. And then she would reference that the solar system we'd bring home from science class was bullshit. So if she was still here, oh man, like, dude, she'd probably be my my, what do you call it, the like radio co-host or something on the show.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you, man, there's not many OGs like that. I'm just glad I had one, and that's, that led me to who I am today. Not saying I couldn't have woken up if I was vaccinated as a child, but it's nice to know I wasn't. When I preach it, I'm living proof of it. I don't get sick. I don't sit there. If I have my fall, my human fall, which is normal for people, it's 24 hours or less. So, and that's just standard, man. But well, okay, back to you though. What was the first time that something crazy happened to you? Not anything like threatening. I mean, where you're speaking vaccines and someone's like, hey, shut the fuck up, man. Like, that's bullshit. Or someone's trying to counterattack you, or someone's trying to shut it down. Explain that. Cause I know it's happened many times, but explain like the first time you were like, oh shit, this is fucking censored. This is going to be crazy from now on.
You mean like when someone shut it?
Well, yeah, meaning like you can't.
Someone...
Yeah, just extra in-person censorship where you got a dose of it for the first time. Like, dude, they won't even let me speak, or they're trying to shut this down, or they're trying to move me along and shit like that. Like, did you ever get a taste of that medicine? Maybe I should ask that first.
I mean, I got a taste of it mostly online, I will have to say.
Twitter fingers. Yeah.
Huh?
I call them Twitter fingers. They just talk
shit. Yeah. A lot of it online. And the people that challenge you in real life, I can't think of the first time because it has happened so many times. But nobody ever wants to have a conversation. Everyone's scared to come back. Like I remember being outside of an Oprah event, outside of the Daytona 500 as well. So many people would just say things as they were walking away, say things as they're running off, say things in a car passing by out the window.
That's their programming. They're
most of the time, it's like I catch myself, like every video, if this was recorded, I'd be like, come back, let's talk about it. And they run off. It's usually a middle finger or F you or baby killer, or like
it's because they're hypocrites and they have an ego. So to me, it's a combination of both.
Right.
Quick example: I'm at the mall recently, and there's this guy that's passing out flyers to save puppies and cats or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And me and my girl, we look at him, we're like, well, what's going on? Like, oh, we care about animals here. We just want to talk to you about these animals and this and that. I'm like, I really care about animals. And and I'm like, do you eat them though? Do you eat animals? He's like, well, yeah, but I'm like, dude, you're a hypocrite, man. It's cool. Like, you can eat animals, but don't preach something when you're so disconnected. I can't have a conversation with you anymore. And he's just like that. And I'm not trying to bring that topic up. I'm just saying in general, like, I get it, because the hypocrisy in people, the reason they don't have an argument is why they're walking the fuck away. Because if me and you were hanging out, say we're just kicking it in Orlando this summer, have a good weekend or something, I'll come out or something. We go out, we paint the town, and we see a globe rally, right? Like pro-globe NASA stuff.
I'm so excited.
We're heading over there and we're having conversations because we have facts. We're not running away.
No.
That's my point, though, the difference. It's a huge difference.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. And that's why, the more I do things in real life and on the internet, and people come at you and they bring all these same top 10 FAQ, commonly asked knee-jerk emotional cognitive dissonance responses, you're just like, okay, this is really all the whole population has. I mean, how long have we been doing this? When you do this for so many years, you have a bank of questions you're going to get.
Yep.
They're all the same. And if there's nothing beyond that, they really don't have anything to bring to the table. I remember being outside of a Neil deGrasse Tyson event one time, and I ran into a guy that was a flat earther, and I was like, dude, come to the Neil thing with me, and let's stand out with like pair signs and the bubbles in space.
I remember that. I remember
like,
that.
okay. So we went, and people were kind of engaging. No one really wanted to talk. And a police officer walked over and was like, what does your sign mean? And I was like, well, it's the earth is flat, da da da. And he was like, and we got the whole thing on tape, and I debated with him for like 30-40 minutes or something. Not all of it's on tape, but it was a really good conversation. He disagreed, but he was open and willing to have the talk and not ridicule, not run away. I was showing him diagrams on my phone. He was a pilot. We were talking about things. It was a really cool dude. I wish I could run into him again, but like, it's just such a rare thing, and I appreciate it when it happens.
You do, man. You take a big appreciation of that. That's happened to me many times, just especially at the airport this year. I mean, it's even on the plane. I mean, I'm sorry, you guys sit next to me, you're going to see me editing and you're going to have questions. And that happens almost every fucking time unless they're sleeping. But I don't give a fuck about you. I'm editing. And they're like, once I see that they're all up on my shit, I'm like, all right, headphones off. I'm like, what's up? I'm like, what's up? Let's talk.
It's a perfect way to reel people in, honestly, because they're like, well, this looks interesting. I mean, I remember being with you at that hotel. He was like, oh, what are you filming for? And I was like, well, here you go. I mean, I've used it on a solicitor one time. They were like, oh, we want to sell you cable. And I was like, I don't watch TV. He's like, you don't watch TV? I was like, nope. He was like, do you stream? Don't stream. He was like, well, what do you do? I was like, I'm a flat earth activist. And he was like, what? And then he actually was like, hey, man, can you give me some videos to look up? I literally gave him Eric Dubé's videos. Nice. He's like a cable guy. And you just never know. It's like always kind of fun to start the conversation, especially if you could do it in like a lighthearted way.
Well, yeah, Eric's a great starting point in terms of like quick facts, scientific research, right to the point. No speculation, if any at all. And that's like a great approach.
People are at square one, like brand new. I would like to send him. There's like, I got an ODD and a Dubé video that are just good for like very beginner level. And then I send them that next chunk, which is like yours, all the levels, usually real eyes. And what's my other one I'll send? Oh, Eric's the history of flat Earth.
The history of flat Earth is good.
I really like that one that people didn't know about other conspiracies, because they're like, okay, same club, same game.
Same shit show. And that's why I think the fencers are waking up so rapidly, is because they understand that the censorship of COVID, they hijack the flu, they call it coronavirus, and then they go, oh, wait, shit, people are posting Lysol bottles. Let's change it up to COVID-19. Don't say coronavirus ever again. COVID-19, repetition. And they make it so, it's harder for normal people to convert, because all they're doing is hearing the same story from Comedy Central, from The Daily Show, from The Nightly Show, from the morning fucking show, from their afternoon show, from anything. It's all controlled. So they're going to get the same thing. And then they're talking about it at work with their peers. They're all hearing the same thing. So unless you are already kind of suspicious of government activities and mainstream headlines, you're going to be reeled right into that field. And it's hard to break people out of that field, but I feel like the ones on the fence that we go out there and do all these things for, it's monumentally growing. I think faster than we could have ever imagined. And I think people sleep on that, Justin. Like, I think people don't realize that. Just say you live in a condominium complex, I can almost guarantee that 30-40% of those people are aware that this was bullshit. Doesn't mean that they all have to agree, but I guarantee if not half of everyone in that condominium complex, half of the people in there have heard that this COVID agenda is bullshit. It was bullshit. Something was off. Okay, whether it be the mask, the vaccine, don't take the booster. You know how many blue pillars, as we call them, said, well, I'm not getting a booster though. Fuck that. And I'm like, well, why not? Like, what do you mean? You listened to them the first 2 go arounds, right? But then there's the ones that just got one and they're like, I'm not getting any more. Fuck that. It's a ripple effect that they will never be able to contain. Do you agree?
I think that the medical establishment and the vaccine program is toast. I've said it recently, and I still believe it. The childhood vaccination rates are plummeting across most states, and that means people's confidence in them is just gone because they don't trust the system anymore after what they've done. And I'm seeing that across the board. So I do. I think it's just the inevitable. Wait a minute, you broke everyone out of their daily routine and made them think about something. You locked them in their homes, give them a somewhat censored internet to still potentially stumble across the truth. I mean, TikTok is overflowing with truth content at the seams. I think of it as like this big water balloon that's got like 100 pinholes and they just can't contain them all. That's probably why they want to ban it. And these other, even the ones that are censoring us, like YouTube and Facebook, we're still able to get stuff out there. There's still flat Earth pages. They're still talking about false flags just about anywhere. It's just we're so ripe. That's what I love about the ISS video going viral. Is people? This is the most ripe time for people to go, holy cow! Maybe they are lying about that too, because they are lying about COVID.
Well, and it's a great way to start their research down that path is something like the ISS. Because honestly, out of all the flat Earth topics, besides Satelloons, I picked Satelloons first, but the ISS is premier, man, because all they gotta do is watch some of it. They don't gotta watch it from our channels. Watch it from NASA's channel. And you'll start seeing stuff. You'll go, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. But wait a minute, they're going 17,500 miles an hour right now. Like, holy shit. So this is information that they heard from you or the film or both or many other things that we've both done. And they look at the ISS footage on their own and they're like, all right, man, like there's something going on. And that's why in the film, and while we're on that topic, you had a nice conversation with a female astronaut. And for my audience, that was kind of, and I didn't bring this up yet, I was waiting for you. That was kind of on the fly. I mean, we didn't really like, it's not that we didn't have a game plan at the Space Center. We just kind of like, all right, because we had to sneak microphones in, we had to sneak stuff in, right? So wireless boxes, you can't bring any of that shit in. But as Austin's mentioned, and I've mentioned on the show before, you know, these guys are triple jabbed over at NASA probably. So it was a lot easier than we expected, but we just got in with our shit. And, you know, I had that belt, you know, like you guys had, actually, I think one of you guys were wearing it. But anyways, long story short, we get in and we're like, oh shit, now what? Like, let's just see what the day brings. And we knew of the rumor or the facts that they do have astronaut sightings there. You know, we were hoping for that. And there you go. I mean, it just all of a sudden we look like, oh shit, there's one coming. Like, and Justin just like, fuck it, mic me up, let's go. I mic'd Austin up first. That was the funny thing. I'll tell it real quick and then you can jump in. We mic'd Austin up, and Austin's role, that's why I didn't make the film. It just wasn't what I needed. He didn't know, I didn't know. It's just that I told him, you got to go rated G with this. You can't, you know, maybe PG with the, you know, your delivery, your topic. You can't throw her off that much because Justin's about to come up too. So who knows? Like, let's just keep it, you know, he asked about the stars and she was like giving the same bullshit script answer. And, you know, I wasn't touching the stars. I didn't know what Austin had planned. Again, this was boom, boom, boom. We were right to just go, mic up. God, well, I think Austin mic'd up in the bathroom. And the funniest part, and I'm gonna give the mic to you now, is when, explain to my audience, did you have to go to the bathroom to mic up?
Yeah, so I mean, Austin's in front of me, just a few people, and I think we realized at that point, like, I don't really have time to go to the bathroom. Like,
you'll lose your place in line, yeah.
Yeah, so it was just like all or nothing. Man, let's just go for, like you said, most people are not paying attention, looking for something like that. So he just came over to me, and I was like, "Hey, do you have my phone charger?" And like, he just handed it to me, and then I just, you know, worked my And I didn't have a really solid plan for a question for her. I was looking her up on Wikipedia, like reading about her, and I'm like, what can I ask her? Maybe I'll just go old bubbles in space question. But I wanted to do something original.
I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did too.
Standing in line, it just hit me, and I'll go, you know what? I'll just ask her about the wires and harness thing, and I'll just ask her in a way that we've already found out, and kind of see how she responds to that, kind of put her in that loaded question position, sort of like the bubbles in space. How do you explain them, assuming we've already accepted they're there? And so I did the same thing. And as you all saw, she sort of fumbled and beat around the bush. And then that's when I had my phone ready, and I was like, I showed a picture of her underwater training. And I said, did you, ever think that all of the spacewalks would be revealed to be filmed underwater to the public? And that's when we got the nervous laugh. It was very similar to Scott Kelly. It's kind of a laughing, awkward non-answer. They do a pretty good
no
job.
idea how to. She had no idea what to say, and she even said, "Okay." If you listen closely, she even goes. She starts. She's like, "Okay."
Yeah.
And she's looking like, "What am I supposed to fucking say right now?"
And the guy with her, I thought he would be more on his game, but he was just more like
triple jabbed.
He was looking for the time to say next, but he wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. I could tell that. I was like, this guy's clueless. I'm not worried about the handler. So we were good there.
Yeah, I could tell too, man, standing there. And by the way, I don't even know if I said this yet. Yeah, because we haven't brought this up on the show. I was standing there with the selfie stick, and I'm just trying to figure out a way to keep that motherfucker still, centered to Justin and that bitch, and just go, wait a minute. They're going to realize what's going on somehow. So right in the middle of it all, the only time you really see the selfie stick kind of wiggle and shake out of frame, not really out of frame. I did okay, but it's because I'm like, the dude was looking at me. You could see, I know when he looked at me from the film's perspective, but as soon as he looked at me, I didn't even think. I just grabbed like a NASA globe ornament or some fucking shit. And I'm just like, acting like I'm taking a selfie. I mean, I looked super gay on purpose, guys. Like, I'm just like, selfie.
How did you cut to a scene where it was like another camera was on the floor? Like,
that was Austin's phone, bro.
You had that set up somewhere?
Austin was filming on the ground. He went to the side and hid. He went to go hide, and I couldn't put the side view in when you went right in for the kill in her face. Some guy stood right in front of Austin that whole scene. So I didn't have the side view to chop up with that. The few side views I had were the best ones from his phone because the guy kept trying to fucking, he thinks it was on purpose. I don't fucking know. I'm not him. I wasn't there, like, from his perspective. But yeah, so I'm taking a selfie. I'm pretending like I'm taking a selfie of myself and just holding it. And I'm like, I don't know how much longer Justin's going to go. By the way, I couldn't even hear you. Like you could think I'm not that far away, but I couldn't hear shit. I heard that
I was talking a little low on purpose.
Yeah.
Because I knew that the mic could hear me, and I didn't really want to tip off too many people around. Or,
no, I appreciate that. I didn't need to hear.
It was part of the strategy.
I didn't need to hear. I'm just glad that you said what you said because I had no idea what was going on. Yeah, I'm just like, keep it in frame. As soon as he looked at me, I'm like, I can't just keep staring and going like this with a selfie stick.
Right.
Because in my mind, again, I don't know what's going on. In my mind, you or the handler was about to shut it down in any second. Any second. But whoa, get out of here, guy.
Yeah, it was going over time.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So in my mind, that could happen any second. As soon as he looked at me, I'm like, I am not going to be the reason for that. Not during this universally worldwide shifting consciousness right now. The universe was like, just grab an ornament, dude. Like, you're good. We're good. This is all getting filmed. Don't worry. You've proven yourself many, many times in the past and the present. You have this approach where, because of your responsible approach, your respect, especially for people you don't respect, to keep it that way, in terms of the ripple effect of the consciousness shift. You keep it that way. Like, I feel like you wouldn't be able to get too heated in a situation like that, especially for a moment like this in a film and all this. You did a few things, obviously. And then you had, it's my audience. There wasn't much because of those fucking cars that kept driving by, but we had Justin, outside of NASA. Some of those cuts made the film.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're on Rockfin listening to me now, that means you probably saw the film, and that means you could watch the film. So and yeah, I mean, the approach you have is just undeniable. And I vote for that approach for everyone, including the culture jammers, as people call them. And there's nothing wrong with them. I get them. I don't agree with all of it, but at the same time, I feel like if we did this approach and more copycats came along, then we're generals at that point. We're the ones that are going to be determining our world's future. We're the ones that people will look up to and want to lead a nation once this government and politics and structure collapses in on itself. They're going to need people that, well, we've been here for a long time talking about a lot of things. And once the change occurs, when we get our world back, I'll vote for you for Florida. I'll move to Florida for a year just to vote for you to be okay. Would you do that if the world changed? Would you want to be, even though I hope politics and that structure system of enslavement just collapses in on itself, but I think in some sense it's nice to have leaders of different areas and people we can go through. I feel like you'd be great for Florida. You, and I don't know if you ever heard of Dr. Narco. Mm-hmm. Oh man, look up Dr. Narco. He's exposing the real, where Floridians came from, and how Florida started. A lot of Tartaria, but a lot of,
I do know that.
Dude. Yeah, he's awesome. I might actually try to get him on one day soon, but
that's a good person for your interview, your show.
Yeah, he's a very smart guy, but I feel like you and him would get my vote to run Florida, and you guys would do it better than anyone ever has.
Yeah, I mean, to answer your question, if we got to some sort of utopia where things were fixed, I'd be happy to do it, but I don't know if I want to play in this toxic soup that we currently have until it collapses in on itself.
Yeah, that's what I mean. From a restructuring standpoint, where it's like the people, the awakened souls, that my goal is to eventually all the awakened souls go, you know what? Let's go south, let's go north, and let's just pull these people out of office by hand. That can happen in one day. What I just said could literally happen in one day. But how do we get to that day? And how do we get to that week? And how do we get to that month of realizing it can happen? The change can happen with humanity. And I think that's why me and Justin wake up every morning, is to ensure that we're trying to get it there. And they don't make it easy at all. They definitely make it easy. I know you could agree with me. They make it easy to expose them. That's for sure.
I think we have to remember that if you want to get back in there and replace these people, you got to actually start getting involved. And you don't have to necessarily get involved politically. I tell people I didn't vote for years. I never played any of that game, but I went in and gave the mayor absolute hell. And he was calling people trying to stop me from coming in there. And if you don't vote, you can't complain. You can't, what? I was making more change than most people and I wasn't voting. So you can't tell me that. And I think we have a duty to sort of like, a lot of people need to take the strategy up that I'm taking, because I'll tell you this, it's effective because it's a lot harder to call us crazy when you come off as like professional and respectful, even biting your tongue and calling these people sir that you absolutely hate. That could be satanic pedophiles. But when I saw Joe Biden and confronted him, I wanted him to answer my questions. So I said, sir. So everyone, oh, how dare you? How could you call him sir? That's scumbag.
Oh, shit.
I agree with you, but it's all a strategy. At these council meetings, at some of these videos I make, you'll hear me say things in a way that I'm trying to like appeal to that person so they'll maybe receive my message more. But they're already gonna call us crazy. But when people watch my NASA video and they go, hey, listen, just watch it. You're trying to send it to a friend that's like, no, that stuff's crazy. You're like, listen, this is just some guy in a suit that's just asking legitimate questions with some video evidence about where our tax money's going. That's a lot better than
the Earth's flat.
Nothing against anybody, but like, some guy with crazy hair that's like standing on the street corner with a sign, and it may have truthful information. He may have good intentions, but that's not what is gonna get us like heard by the regular people in the world that we're trying to reach. So,
And I get it, though that type of stuff might make Fox News. I get that.
yeah,
So if it makes Fox News, then okay, I understand Fox News people. But to me, those people receptive to the humor involved or whatever, they're just gonna laugh it off anyway. So there really is no retaining the information of how important the truth really is.
yeah.
And you do that in a professional way where even if you're against what you're saying, when they see a personality like you, they listen more. They don't just kind of write it off as a comedy act.
Right. If anyone wants to go check it out, I don't encourage anyone to give money to Amazon Prime or any of these other people, but The Anti-Vax Conspiracy is a documentary I agreed to be in. And it got put on mainstream channels like Amazon Prime, and I forget the other ones, but it's they smear everyone in the movie but me because they can't really smear me. I spent 4 hours with them in a parking lot, and they couldn't find a clip that made me look really crazy. And I take pride in that, and they can't smear me or take me or twist it a certain way. So I encourage people to go watch that film, and you'll be like, wow, they really went to town on these other people, but he was just like educating people in a parking lot and saying that people need informed consent. Doesn't really sound that crazy to me. And that's why I agree to be in these films. If you're going to get yourself on mainstream television, you better do a damn good job of making sure they're not going to
Thank
make
you.
look
Hey,
silly.
you said it, not me. I'll tell you. And I wish I was one to drop names, especially in the flat earth, but it's like if you have an opportunity to be on a national show,
Right.
I don't even want you bringing your A game. You better bring your A plus 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 game because
Yep.
it's time to awaken people. But when I hear specific people answering a specific way, when that limelight is on, and that to me, that defines who you are as a human being, and I don't like people like that. So
Yeah. You
it
get that
sucks,
silly
man.
question, you deflect. You deflect right back over to the meat and potatoes of it. When they're like, "Oh, so what are you supposed to believe in X, Y, Bigfoot too?" Whatever. I don't mean to use that, but
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
they
Don't
go,
use that. Don't use
I
that because
know.
they're
That's
real. But I get your point.
but like when they go to do that, you steer them right back, and you go, "I don't understand how that's relevant." The fact of the matter is, boom, 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 and you just bring it right back. You don't fall for their tricks, really.
Well, yeah, it's the same. I mean, but Bigfoot's still the best example because that, you hear that the most. Oh, yeah, the Earth's flat, like Bigfoot's real, or like,
Right.
we didn't go to the moon, or like we didn't, or 9/11 was an inside job. It's like, yeah,
Oh, I hear people.
everything you're saying, yes, 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 yes. Like all your comebacks that mainstream has programmed you with to make fun of it. That's why talked about this in the last show, the word telepathic. It's like why does it exist? If no one has that power. No one's ever been documented to have a special telepathic telepathy about him. Oh, where does that word come from? Well,
Right. Right.
someone telepathic, and the
Beyond the
ancients
ice
have talked
wall,
about it. That's all I'm saying. But
in
yeah,
one of the
man.
outer lands.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing though. It's like you can even I was just on a show and they were talking to me about that there's certain animals that are only seen in certain spots of like Australia or this near where Antarctica would be. And it's like they don't make their way anywhere else. So it seems more like they come from the outer lands and they end there. So they're little bit of habitated there. They allow a little bit of it, but they only come from over there. So I do feel that way about many things, as you guys know. But Justin, I kept you longer than I expected. You're a busy man. You have a busy schedule. You're doing so much good for the world. I hope you realize that. And I hope that anything I have done in the past can have done presently or in the future can help get your name and your brand in terms of We Are Change out there more, people to follow you, people to want you on their show, people to help you with your mission. Anything I can do to help, I will. And I hope I've already done that. And I hope I will continue to do that, especially when this film, Level With Me, hits May 22nd, Rumble, YouTube, BitChute, Odyssey. Then the haters that talk shit about my 30 days to catch up on this giant budget that I didn't have it for. can shut the fuck up and then enjoy it for free like they do every year. I don't know what people think something has changed, but anyways, enough of me. Thank you, man, because you really brought some drama to this film in a factual way, which is the best sort of drama in any film is facts. Oh shit, with drama? Oh shit. You did it a few times in this film. I want to applaud you. And I'm glad that we have linked and met, and I hope that we can hang out again soon whenever you have free time, especially in the summer. If you ever head out to California, of course, we'll paint the town red. So
yeah, man.
Thank
well,
you
I appreciate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on, bro. It's a pleasure. I'm glad that the film is doing well. I just hope that my work and our work encourages people to be good copycats, and the ones that go out here and take their life back. Like I said, take your health, take your power back. Like my shirt says, shout out to Derek Bros. You are beautiful, you are powerful, you are free. You keep mantras like that and you stay focused on the positive and the good in this world and waking people up, we may be able to fix this mess. You can, like We Are Change Orlando, be the change you wish to see in this world. And just to finish off, support Sean, download this movie, spread the word, encourage people to support his work so we can keep getting great films like this. And if anyone wants to come and move to the free state of Florida, the freer state of Florida, contact me. I'm also a realtor. I'll help you get a house down here. So thanks again, Sean. I appreciate it, man.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you guys, there's probably tons of truthers that are like, fuck it, we're going to Florida. Hit up Justin or hit me up. I'll get you Justin's information, and he will help you out right away. And he'll work hard for you, especially being a truther. It's a whole nother aspect of help, in my opinion.
And your audience, I know, is the type of people that will appreciate that any support I get goes directly to giving NASA more problems. So
exactly.
Let's do it.
That's the point. Like any donations or money, someone like me or Justin, the personality is the type of humans we are that we bring in from this. What are we doing? Buying a Ferrari and retiring? No, we're putting it right back into what can we do this month? What can we have a little bit of free money now? What can we do? This is how we get changed. But people think that all of it's supposed to be free. All of it, everything's free. Traveling's free. Everything's supposed to be free. And unfortunately, it's not. But we hope to make the world one day where money doesn't exist and we literally don't need it, is the point. Not meaning collapsing the dollar like they're trying to do in their way. I mean, actually, we don't need it in terms of freedom. We shouldn't even have money in a sense. I want to go back to bartering, but that's another show. But Justin, thank you for coming on. Thank you for everything you've done for humanity. And I know that our creator is going to keep protecting you along your path. So thanks for coming on the Hibbler.
Research flatter.